I think it's fair to say in 2023 we have seen some of the best driver offerings ever. In this video I have both the Callaway Paradym Triple Diamond and the Taylormade Stealth 2 to determine just which one goes in my bag for the rest of this year. Yes, I'm well aware we're a little bit late, but the season is just beginning here in the UK and I wanted to give both of these drivers the ultimate chance to get in my golf bag. Both these drivers are fitted in my specs from the experts over in California, both at the Callaway Performance Institute and the Kingdom over at Taylormade. As you can imagine, the specs are pretty similar. Guys, get in the comments below which driver would you use and which driver have you got in the bag at this moment in time. And you see guys, this is a tough one because they are two outstanding drivers. Callaway have been producing fantastic drivers for the last few years, but I certainly feel like they've upped their game with the new Paradym range, especially with the Triple Diamond. The Paradym has almost changed the game a little bit this year because it has that 360 carbon wrap. We've never seen that in a driver before. It looks absolutely phenomenal and it actually sounds as good as it looks. So far it's ticking pretty much every box we want. Is it going to tick the performance box? Well, spoiler alert, we already know it's going to do that as well. But is it going to beat this year's offering from Taylormade in the Stealth 2 Plus? I love the look of this as well. To be honest, I'm sort of between a rock and a hard place with these two drivers. If I could have two drivers in the bag, like prime Phil Mickelson, I probably would do. I think the Callaway will go longer on those really good strikes, but I think the Taylormade might make up for it in forgiveness or forgiveness, or we'll go with forgiveness. You see, for me, I think once you get over the name, the Callaway Paradym, and you start to think about what it's about, you start to think about its story, and you also start to think about the technology that's in it, I think you can start to think, you know what, this is a driver I might well potentially put in the bag in 2023. It is a driver which I love the look of, the feel of, the sound of. It's ticking all those boxes. And performance-wise, it's doing pretty similar as well. One of the things I do worry about the Callaway Paradym, especially the Triple Diamond, is the forgiveness element. This is obviously a mega low spin model. It's obviously a model that in previous years you just couldn't get. This was a tour only model, but Callaway decided not to release an LS model like they did in the Rogue ST, but in fact just bring the Triple Diamond. And I must admit, I'm just not a huge fan of the looks of the standard Paradym. I'm sure that would work great for me. I'm sure it would work great for a lot of golfers, but I just don't like the look of it really as much as this. And I think it's really important that you do like the look of something you're going to use all year, and especially when you know you put a good swing on it and this happens. That's a little bit of a necky fade. I don't mind that as a bad one. That felt like a particularly bad golf swing, but it's on the right-hand side of the fairway. If we can start hitting fairways with this with mishits, then it really is going to be difficult to beat. Let's go Stealth 2. So there is no getting around the fact the Taylormade Stealth 2 driver is a fantastic driver, especially the Stealth 2 Plus that I have here with the movable weight settings. I love the look of this. It just doesn't look that different to last year's model, does it? Which I think a lot of people like. They like that it's a little bit of a progression on. They've stuck with the red carbon face, which I think, to be honest, they had to do, and they've gone with the gloss crown instead of the matte finish. For me, it feels totally different to the Paradym. You can see I've played that nice peely one there that I've been wanting to play all day. You can certainly manufacture shots with this. You can certainly get the ball speeds that you want. Forgiveness, is that a thing? That's something which I'm not sure if they've over-marketed a little bit. For me, the beauty about this, very similar to the Paradym, is that audio appeal, is that feedback. It sounds phenomenal off the face. It certainly doesn't sound like a carbon face driver. It sounds, to be honest, like a standard driver, just a really, really nice pitch. Listen to this. That's exactly what you want your driver to sound like, isn't it? It really, really is. Right. Can we get the spin? And that one again, it's a little bit of a necky one. It's gone a little bit higher than the Paradym, fading up the right side. Two pretty comparable shots, really. Really interested to see where they've gone out here on the golf course. And you see, this is why it's vitally important for me that when you are deciding which golf clubs you use, be it your driver, be it your irons, be it your 3-wood, be it, well, I've missed that loop, pretty much anything, you have to do it on the simulator. You have to check the numbers. You want to know what your spin rate's like on miss hits, on good hits. You want to know how much ball speed you're getting if you're gaining a distance. But you also have to do it out here on the golf course, because your mindset changes totally when there's out of bounds to the left and a fairway bunker at about 260 on the right. You know you need to catch it, and you know you can't hit it left, which is essentially what I've done there. So these could be similar. I'll be shocked if they're not. And you see, I am quite a fan of this. That was two totally different looking ball flights. Yes, both at the right hand side. We've got one in the fairway here, which is the Paradym. The Stealth was a little bit better struck. It's up in the right hand rough, but there's not a lot to choose from with both of these balls. Realistically, it's come down to the strike that I put on them and the swing that I had. This could be close, very close. And I must say, I can't wait to show you the numbers comparisons for these two drivers as well, because does it come down to numbers? Does it come down to a little bit of an umbrella of everything with these clubs to decide what goes in the bag? That's the best Stealth I've hit, definitely. That sounded like a next level strike, that one. That was gorgeous. And that's what I would anticipate, around the 275 carry, maybe jumping up to 280 with a really good one, 281 for that one there. Is the difference going to be the forgiveness, or is it going to be the longer shots? This is something which I'm really interested to find in here on the Golf Sun Simulator, but also out on the golf course, where, let's face it, it really counts, doesn't it? Right, a couple more Stealth, and we'll jump back out on the golf course, see how that test is going. A little bit toey, that one, but again, I feel like it's going to work. It's just peeling off to that right-hand side. So I feel like this is probably a good time to discuss the looks of both these drivers. We've discussed sound, we've discussed feel, and we've discussed names as well. Stealth 2, Paradym, Triple Diamond. That was a terrible head cover takeoff. But which ones do you prefer the look of, guys? Do you prefer the look of the Taylormade Stealth 2? Do you prefer the look of the Paradym Triple Diamond? Do you prefer that slightly smaller head profile of the Callaway? Or do you like the look more of the shape of the Taylormade? Two very similar numbers on top. So we've both got gloss carbon. We've both got a little bit of a kind of leading edge, I suppose you can say, on the top line there. Very, very enjoyable. You can see them both shining in the sun there. We've got a little bit of a blue carbon as opposed to black gloss carbon on the Taylormade. Both these do mark up a little bit, I must say. I've been testing these quite a lot. Both of them do start to get a little bit kind of worn, so if you're bothered about that, maybe try and take a little bit of extra care with them. To be honest, I don't think you can stop them doing that. It's almost like when brands put piano black paint in cars. It just really doesn't make sense to me. We'll go Paradym, no, we'll go Stealth 2 first this time. Try and cut the corner. This is quite a tight driving hole. You've got to rely on your driver here. Which one would I rather have? The Stealth, I feel like I can probably get one out there. That's the perfect line, a little bit of a fade around the corner. Still didn't feel like I middled that, and I feel like it's going to perform pretty well for me. It's going to drop that spin rate a little bit. I almost feel like with the Stealth 2, you're going to get quite a lot out of it if you do miss the centre, especially out the toe, because you get that high dippy ball flight as long as you do get it launching. The Callaway, I sense you probably need to get it out the middle a little bit more, although that Healy one on the first hole did help out quite a lot. You can see I've been testing this a lot. I've actually had it in the bag for quite some time, and I've tested quite a few different swing paths and face angles with this. I'm very surprised at what I've gotten away with. I feel like when I've had a good day, I've hit this really, really well. I'll throw some drives on screen now for you.
He's giving it everything. That's probably better.
I think, yeah. Oh, yeah. And generally hit much better drives. But even the bad day, I feel like it's probably a little bit more forgiving than I've been giving it credit for. Right. That's going to be interesting. It's a very similar ball flight, fading a bit more. It is round a corner, so that might actually work for me. I would say that spin rate was probably 400-500 more just looking at the ball flight. Is that going to affect the distance? That's a shot I get often with this, a little kind of fadey one. But if it's still up there with the Stealth 2 and it's safe and it's not gone left, who's the winner? And I certainly feel like out on the golf course, I've hit drives with this that I just couldn't hit with another driver. I feel like I've been hitting bombs, but also little cutty ones as well, like that one where it starts left, starts to fade back. The numbers are pretty good. That one stayed a little bit left, but for me, I certainly want something that I can aim down that left side, play a little bit of a peely fade, and not have to feel like I'm turning it over massively. That one did okay for a bit of a miss strike. Right guys, that is the last shot with the Taylormade Stealth 2. That felt like a good one as well. That one's carried 274, running right up to 295 yards. Let's see just exactly which driver has worked best for me in here in the simulator. Then we're going to finish things off once and for all out on the golf course with a one-shot only long drive competition. So guys, I've been hitting a ton of drives all day with the Taylormade Stealth 2 and Paradym Triple Diamond. As you can see, the averages are very similar. There's a mile an hour in it, if that. Spin rates, there's 100 revs per minute, if that. And distance, there's 1.5 yards in it, if that. Very, very similar numbers. Two fantastic drivers. Wasn't actually swinging at my best today as well. I hit a couple of good ones, but a couple of bad ones. So the numbers are pretty accurate. Guys, what do you think I should use? Get in the comments below. Let's get out there and see where those drives have finished. Now, I can't quite believe how good that Paradym has done. This isn't the shortest of golf holes. It didn't feel like the best strike. But looking at that drive, I've literally got like a sand wedge in here to that flag. The Stealth 2, where is it? Because this is going to be interesting. The Stealth 2, I feel like was a better strike. Is it on line with it, or is it a bit further back? There is a ditch over here. I felt like, oh, it's here, look. So we're in the rough. It's a little bit further back, and it felt like it was a bit of a better strike. Both using the same ball, just with different logos on. That's interesting, because that's the difference between out of the rough, playing over the bunker and probably not having a birdie opportunity, to a little flick in with a sand wedge with nothing in your way. Now, when you are testing drivers, is that something you think about positioning on the hole, or is it just the numbers? How far has it gone? Have we hit the fairway? Really interested to hear that. Right, okay, one last hit with both these clubs. This is a long drive battle. I'm not going to lie, I've already kind of got in my head which one is going to go in the bag, but you can't beat one final little bit of suspense, can you? Right, I'll go with Taylormade first. Keep getting that wrong, I don't know why. See if we can really open the shoulders up. This hole is designed to open the shoulders up. It is a little bit wider than the others, although we're into the wind. It's a launch pad of a hole. And that is lovely. There's no movement on it whatsoever. Again, just a touch toey. I feel like that's a good place to be, just running into that right-hand rough. Now let's go Paradym. And guys, I've not actually mentioned so far in this video that when I was fitted for the Paradym Triple Diamond out in California, we changed the weights a little bit. So I've got a 6 gram weight in the front, a 10 gram weight in the back, as opposed to a 14 and a 2. I feel like that does just help me feel like I'm eking everything out of it. And again, we're going to try and smash this into orbit. Turn it over a little bit, that's over the bunker down the left side. Again, slightly different line to the Taylormade. Two different golf swings, two different outcomes. Which one is going in the bag? So we have Taylormade Stealth 2 in the right-hand rough and the Callaway Paradym in the left-hand rough. Very similar distances from off that tee back there. Which one is going in the bag? It has to be, of course, the Callaway Paradym Triple Diamond driver. Now I say of course, it's not of course. This hasn't been an obvious test for me. Those numbers were pretty much identical. The test out here has been very, very similar depending on the swing that I put on it. And I do have a sort of reason for gaming the Paradym this year. I've used the Taylormade driver for the last 3 or 4 years. And to be honest, it feels like just a little bit of a switch up, a little bit of a change. These are two outstanding drivers, definitely in the top 3 or 5 of 2023. But I feel like this makes me concentrate a bit more and gives me that feeling just a little bit more than the Stealth 2 does. I mean, that's gone a long way. That's probably the best drive I've hit all day. Guys, thank you so much for watching. This is going to be in my bag for this year now. I'm not going to be messing around with it. I'm not going to be chopping and changing. You will see me keep reviewing golf clubs. That is what I do. I love testing golf clubs for you guys to see if they work for me, if they could work for you, and provide my opinions. But apart from that, guys, I'll see you all at the same time tomorrow. Smash that subscribe button and hopefully I will be hitting more fairways than ever. Goodbye.